What leadership qualities do you believe are essential for civil engineers who aspire to management roles, and how can they develop these skills?
Leadership qualities definitely you have to have a technically strong one. That's we know. You should know your field as much as possible. Then you have to you should know the standards. What are the standards applicable in this field? What are the regulations are applied in my field?
Did you know that turnover rates in engineering firms can reach as high as 30% in some sectors, with leadership challenges being a major factor? Leading a civil engineering team isn't just about technical expertise. It's about communication, adaptability, and keeping projects on track despite constant challenges. In this episode, I'm thrilled to sit down with Haider Ali, lead civil, municipal infrastructure, and water resources engineer at Tetra Tech, to talk about what it takes to lead civil engineering teams effectively. We'll discuss the biggest challenges leaders face, strategies for building high-performing teams, the role of mentorship, and how to prepare for the future of civil engineering. If you're looking to strengthen your leadership skills and make a lasting impact in your career, you won't want to miss this conversation. I'm your host, James Taylor, and this is the Civil Engineering Podcast. It's now time for our Civil Engineering Conversation of the Week with Haider Ali. Haider, welcome to the Civil Engineering Podcast.
Welcome. Yeah. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Appreciate you being on. Haider, to start, can you tell us a little bit about your background, what inspired your career in water resources and municipal infrastructure, and how you advanced to your leadership role at Tetra Tech?
I did my master's in water resources engineering from University of Manitoba way back in 2002, actually. And basically, water resources is always an inspiration after my graduation in 1991. We, as a whole world, actually, we need our water resources are very quickly depleting all over the world, and we need to manage it very properly. And unfortunately, most of the world water is not managed correctly, and we are short of resources. And there are so many things going on, rumors or the like. Some sorts of theories that there may be some wars based on the water resources. So basically, my intention is for taking the water sources is to manage the water resources as much as I can contribute my services, my efforts to manage the water resources, especially in Canada, actually. And I did my master's in water resources engineering, and since then I'm doing my effort to contribute my services, my experience, my education to manage the water resources in especially in Ontario and in Alberta, actually.
So where did you get that passion for water resources?
Basically, way back, like when I did my engineering in 1991 undergraduate. So one of my professors, he was a PhD in water resources engineering, and we have a very good center of excellence for water resources engineering, and I get inspiration from them. And I used to go to the mountain areas, and I observed that the snow is melting very fast as compared to the last 20 years. And when I studying on it, then I realized that the present climate changes are affecting them, and there are other factors also. So, like we are constructing most of the places we are constructing, like there are lots of development, and we don't care about when the coefficient of friction is changed from grass to the metal or the asphalt, so we increase the runoff, but we in most of the cases we don't understand, especially in the third world countries, we don't take care about this, and that causes the floods, floods, and then there are some serious damages also due to the rains. But the main reason is that we are not understanding that water source has to be managed, and when we make any development, any construction project, we have to manage the water resources. Like the increase in the runoff because of construction of any activity has effect on the downstream.
Yeah.
So if we we don't manage like provide post development and pre development controls for the water. We may have big damage to the downstream structures, and it happened like I know a couple of years before in Pakistan, from where I did graduation. There was a big there was a rainfall event, and the river, they just eroded so many hotels, and the reason was that they didn't manage. One of the reason, not all of the, was that they didn't manage it, the post development flow properly. So these are then my aspiration, my professors, and visiting the mountain areas, and then realizing that things are changed a little bit in the last 20, 30 years.
That's great. You mentioned working for Tetra Tech now, and you said you're a lead engineer at Tetra Tech. You want to talk a little bit about that role that you currently serve in?
Yeah, I'm a lead civil engineer. Basically, Tetra Tech is a mostly a power company. We got most of the project from Ontario Power Generation, from Canadian Nuclear Laboratories, from Bruce Power. So most of them are mechanical and electrical projects, switch yards, this type of things. And but because we take the whole project, so civil comes to me actually. All the civil works like grading, stormwater management, the ponds, pre-post development, utilities relocation, installation of utilities, how to develop the pre and post development flows, or how to make that like we have to follow the TRCA guidelines, like
Yeah,
regulations, Ontario regulations, and that's what I am responsible. Talking to the municipal MECP, like Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks. So, and whatever projects we construct or we design it, we have so many stakeholders. We need to when we give out stormwater management plan, we have to talk to them and convince with our approach. We provide them stormwater reports, and then if there are frequent meetings also with regulatory authorities, and that's what we are here to convince them that whatever projects we are designing or we are proposing, that is according to the Ministry of Environment standards and according to the TRC guidelines. So that's what my role is, that all the civil projects which comes through my company, I'm leading them and provides mostly stormwater management, grading, roads, pavement design, what will be their turning area. I like to make the flows
that's great.
smoothly, and then it can take the load, so the pavement can take the load. Similarly, water retaining structure, the existing water structures, are they enough, or do we need to provide some extra stormwater ponds? Similarly, like for erosion and sediment control measures, we have to take it during the construction and after the construction, like providing a oil water separator or some sort of structures that we can control the erosion and sediment control. So that's what my role in the in present job.
Love it. So obviously you started off as a young engineer and we're doing these things, and now you're in a leadership position. So the question I have to ask for you is, what leadership qualities do you believe are essential for civil engineers who aspire to management roles, and how can they develop these skills?
Leadership qualities, definitely, you have to have a technically strong one. That's we know. You should know your field as much as possible. Then you have to you should know the standards. What are the standards applicable in this field? What are the regulations are applied in my field? Like for any other ways, but for water resource engineering. Experts in the modeling, swim stormwater management modeling, civil 3D. Um, I think if a new engineer has these qualities, or they can go accelerate into this field a lot actually. So some swim models and civil 3D CAD expertise, they contribute a lot actually in this one. And then for as a leader, basically you should manage, you should mentor, you should have abilities to mentor your team, to talk with them. So basically what I do usually from the start of any project, I sit with them, brainwashing with my brainstorming with my team, and sit with them and try to teach them that to understand the concept of the project, what is required by having any project. So guiding the team, mentoring the team, that should be the qualities of a lead engineer or a project manager, that you should mentor the team. If they have any deficiency like technical or any other deficiencies, just guide them and get them trained. So and technically as well as
Yeah.
stakeholder development relationship, that's also very important. Like I'm in a consulting firm, so we have so many stakeholders, client is there, regulatory authorities are there. So you whatever you present or you design it, you should have the abilities or the confidence that you can represent it and you can get it approved from the authorities. So that's what one of the most important qualities, that you should be able to coordinate with all the stakeholders, have good relation with them. You can convince them technically as well as or you should have awareness of the standards codes, and so that when someone asks it, you know that you're fulfilling. Like in Ontario, we have TSC standards, like the watershed areas for different. They have divided the watershed area and the classification for the soil for different areas. We take it from them and provide it into our model. Similarly, like we should know what are the watershed areas of the different creeks, because for each watershed area they have different bylaws. Some has controlled flows, some has uncontrolled flows. So, just an example, like one of my project, even it's in the Ontario, in the Director area. So one watershed has uncontrolled flow, like you can throw it. You just have to clean the water and throw it into the lake. But the other
Yeah.
creek watershed has it has to be controlled because of some. There are definitely some reasons why they put something on the controlled flows and uncontrolled flow, but the
Yeah.
quality is definitely managed everywhere. Quantity sometimes we can. So the in brief, I can say you should know the standards and the
Yeah.
regulations, because if you don't know, you cannot design your project
So
properly.
if I could summarize what you just said there, right? So the most important thing for a civil engineer is to understand the technical background, right? I mean, that hands down, you got to know that before moving up into a management role. And once you get into that management role, it becomes less about yourself and more about the others around you, right? Your team, you're leading a team. You need to be able to communicate, you need to be able to
Yeah,
mentor, and you need
mentor.
to be able to find stuff and kind of know if I don't know where to find this, who do I know that can find this? You
Yeah,
know, what
yeah,
you're
like
talking
we
about
have.
the resources. Yeah.
Yeah, like we have Ontario provincial standards, OPSS, OPSDs. There are lots of standards, and the drawings are available in Ontario provincial standards. So you should know, and then you can easily apply it. You can save your time, and you can apply it. So yeah, yeah, you're right. You should know that. What's the standards or the specification drawings are available in your province or in your country, and then you have to follow them. Actually, definitely, there have been so much work already done in this field, and we can use them actually instead of reinventing a wheel. So we can get benefit as well as this is the requirement also. Otherwise,
Yeah.
one of the example, like if you go to any, although US and Canada but every state has different bylaws,
Right.
for sediment control. Just an example, we use oil water separators, and different countries and different states have different criteria to control how much micron should be released into the water bodies. So if you know it, you can put it into your swimming water model, and then you can manage it. What to design, what type of oil OWS you can design it. So that's you're right. Yeah, we have to have knowledge of a thorough knowledge of this
Yeah.
area.
Hader, what are some of the biggest challenges you face when leading civil engineering teams, and how do you ensure that your team stays productive and aligned with the project goals?
The biggest challenge I have seen in the last 10 to 15 years is the most of the cases is the time, actually deadlines
Yeah.
actually. so so
We all
so
got
the
we all got the clients right that are like, "Hey, I need it yesterday."
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody
right? And it's
needs.
like, oh, you can't do it that fast, right?
Yeah, everybody needs this yesterday. And once a project is with you, definitely you have to. This is this is one of the biggest challenge. There's definitely challenges managing the team also. So sometimes you have a good team, sometimes you have some weak person in your teams. You have to go to take all of your team with you actually. But biggest challenge I have seen is the time, like the budget and
Yeah.
the time deliverables. So. If you say how to manage it, I think it's really, really, really challenging. Sometimes you have to ask to your management to provide some extra resources. Sometimes resources are not available,
Yeah.
so you have to request or you have to sit with your team to do some extra time because deadlines are deadlines.
Right.
We have to follow it. We cannot say no, I will not work in it, because they have suppose one of the project. We have a Hydro One project in Ottawa, so the like the reactor was coming there, so you have to prepare your civil work before that, like
Hmm.
the equipment came. So if the equipment is coming like after a month, you cannot say no, I will take 2 months. It has to be, if even the days make difference.
Right.
Sometimes thousands or sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars losses can occur. So my way of style is that I usually try to anticipate when is the deadlines, and before the time I usually talk to management to give me extra resources. Sometimes we cannot manage, the management cannot make it. Then talk to the other, like the offices in Canada, or sometimes we offer for other countries also to get help from them. Like one of the projects in the last summer, we took help from our Winnipeg office to finish it. So basically, if you can anticipate the deadlines, you can have arrange the resources before
Right.
the time. Sometimes it's not possible. Like the client has also some deadlines which are delivered late actually to you. And then in this case, it's really challenging, and sometimes you have to work late hours with your team and ask for some sports like for CAD sport or civil 3D sports from other designers. So that's what I usually manage. I try to anticipate the work in advance. If not, then take some help from our regional offices, and if not, then sometimes you have to work
Yeah.
overtime also.
Do you have any tips for like you're saying you kind of anticipate what's upcoming? Do you have any tips for like how you actually drive into that and say, okay, I know I got this, this, and this doing the next coming week. I don't have enough staff. This is like, you have any thoughts about like what are those ways that you can really go out there and make sure that you are staying on top of your schedule when it seems like everything's coming to pass at the same time?
Yeah, basically, technique which I use it, I usually sit with my management before the time, my managers, and see how many projects are coming in the next 6 months or the next 1 year, and then anticipate it. So that's one of the rule which works very effectively if you sit with them, because we have definitely the management has proposals are coming, and we
Yeah.
know that what projects are coming in a month, what are coming in a 3 months or 6 months. So sitting with my management regular basis, and that helped to anticipate the work actually a lot actually. And then you should know that, and sometime if you cannot anticipate the exact duration of the work, that also makes time. Suppose
Mhm.
a project is of 3 months and you think that you will complete it in two
Yeah.
months so that causes problems. So I think, again, you should know, technically you should be strong, and you should know the abilities of yourself, your team, and that helps a lot. Like, that your team can finish a work in 2 months. It
Right.
will not take 3 months. And sitting with the management is also one of the technique which I use it, and to anticipate it, and the future work, and before it comes, arrange the resources before that. Yeah.
How do you balance your technical expertise with leadership responsibilities when managing complex infrastructure projects?
No, no, just repeat it. What do you
Oh,
mean?
yeah. So I'm just curious about how you balance your technical expertise with your leadership responsibility. So obviously you have both of those, and you kind of talked about like, hey, the technical is your foundation, but you need to have those leadership responsibilities as well. How do you kind of balance them together
Uh,
when you're managing complex infrastructure projects?
Yeah, both are, I think, equally important. Leadership comes that you should know the emotional intelligence of your employees, your team. You should know their capacity. What are the capacity of your team? What is the issues with them? One of the things which I use a lot is emotional intelligence. Like you should know what are their issues while working with them. So leadership and again the technical qualities, so both are definitely requirements. Simultaneously we have to use it, leadership as well as technical qualities. Leadership includes, as I said it, you should know the capacity of your team, your company, how can they do it, how much they can deliver it. And technically you should be able to give the quality of the work.
Yeah.
So it's not that you committed and then you can produce a quality work. So that's one of the most important thing, to have the quality as, on time, with budget. So here technical qualities coincide with the leadership qualities,
Yeah.
and if both of them are not aligned, I think there are chances of failure of project actually. If you think that you can deliver the project and technically your team is not strong, you deliver the project, but the quality is compromised,
Yeah.
which is definitely, we never want this thing.
Well,
So
it's a big risk, right? If you don't have
yeah,
quality, if you don't have the right team on it, or you don't have the right quality in your project, and even if you met your deadline, you're putting yourself and the company at risk because, like you said, that quality isn't there in the product
yeah.
that's out there.
Yeah, quality, and so you should know the capacity of the team and as well as the quality of what quality they can produce it. Suppose I just give you an example, like if you're doing any environmental assessment, you take the project and you think you can do it, but your team doesn't have the abilities. They will do something, they will learn from Google or AI, they will learn
Mhm.
it, but that won't be a good idea. So you should have before taking any project, accepting any project, or even then the proposal stage, when you're doing the proposal, the methodology you're creating, you should know the abilities of your team, and and accept the project if you can deliver it
Yeah.
with quality. If you cannot, there is no harm to say that I cannot complete the project, or I cannot take this project. I think there is no harm if you
Yeah.
don't have the abilities. Rather, I think that's what PEO, like Professional Engineers Associations, this they clearly says that. If you don't have the proper expertise, you have the right to say no, actually. And I use it, like I simply say no if someone says that, even the management says that, can you complete the job. If I don't have, or my team doesn't have abilities, I think it's better to say no instead of providing a
Yeah.
low quality product, actually.
So a little bit earlier, we talked about communications as being one of the keys to being a good leader or transitioning into leadership. What strategies do you use to foster strong communication and collaboration across multidisciplinary teams?
Yeah, communication is, or being as a lead or a project manager, is very important at all levels. So communication is with your team, first of all, with your manager, like three levels of communication. First with your team, communicating with your management, and with the client, actually, and then you can have with the regulatory authorities also. So developing good relationship with the stakeholders is definitely one of the most important thing in civil engineering, or in any other project also.
Mhm.
When you talk about any project, that's these are the requirement, actually. So I think Communication, when you talk, even the PMBOK, which is our project management book, also they refer that communication with your team is very important, with your management, and with the client, with the, like in my present project, there are so many consultants are working on one project. So okay, and we have to coordinate with them where their project starts and where our project starts. So coordination with the other stakeholders are very, very important, and at each stage is important. Like, not only with your team, it's important with your management also. You should be able to express your needs with the management. Similarly, like, you have to communicate with your team to let them know what's the nature of the project, what's the demand from the higher management, from the client. So communication, in one way, like, important, from up to down to up and up to down also. Like, you should be able to convey your thought to your management that this is my team abilities and they can do it. Similarly, from the management, or from the client, you can say these are the requirements from the client, and communicate with the team that that's the requirement and you have to complete it. And if you cannot communicate properly on the both sides, up or down, you may have problems. I think communication to the higher management and from higher management to lower management, both things are very, very important, and it should be taken care of.
So obviously in communication, there's sometimes issues that arise. How do you
Yeah.
handle disagreements or even conflicting projects within a project team while maintaining efficiency and morale with that team?
Yeah, like, there are conflicts.
Yeah.
So you should have some expertise in conflict management, conflict resolution, actually. So dealing with the conflict management, that's what I think. Again, how to manage with the conflict is the only way is communication. So any type of communication conflicts with the client, if they have with the management or with your team. So I think the best way is to communicate with them, sit with them. Like, if you have any issue with your team, or a team member, sit with them individually and try to use emotional intelligence and see what is the problem. Like, someone may have technical problems, some may have financial problems, some may have family problems. So just to try to understand, sit with on a personal basis, I think that helps a lot, actually.
Hmm.
Understanding the things, communicating well, and see what are the, if someone is not able to work effectively, or it's not delivering the project on time or with quality. um, so sit with them and see, try to understand what are the problems of emotional or family problems or something. And then I think I have used this thing in the past, and I find it very helpful. Sit on one-to-one basis on a cup of tea, and it helps a lot, actually.
I'm here with Haider Ali from Tetra Tech. He's a lead civil engineer. And Haider, we've been talking a lot about, kind of the transition from the technical side into leadership and management. And one of the topics that we haven't touched on yet is mentorship. And I'm curious your opinion on what role does mentorship play in engineering leadership, and how do you support the professional growth of your team members?
Yeah, I think I little bit touch
You did.
earlier,
Yeah.
like mentorship is one of the key things in engineering. We got a COP student in our team, then we got fresh engineers. I got a couple of years before two fresh engineers, and trained them, and they're very efficient. And I believe the engineers which are coming new, they are technically very, very strong. They have more abilities of computer information. They have more artificial intelligence in information. So if you mentor them technically and let them know what are the standards, what bylaws or standards you have to use it. Suppose in Ontario, just like an example, you should just let them know where are the Ontario provincial standards are there, what are the Ministry of Environment Conservation and Park MECP requirements, where are their handbooks, manuals, what are the city requirements, where are the city bylaws. Similarly, like where are the TRC guidelines, where are the client guidelines. And I think if you mentor them properly, they can be your asset actually. And I have seen it. They if you guide them properly, you can get reward very quickly actually. Uh, and to let them know where are the what are your demands and what how you can improve your skills. So mentor and definitely if an engineer comes, he or she has definitely a background in civil engineering, but being as a mentor, your responsibility is to let them know what are the client requirement, where are the
Yep.
standards, bylaws, regulations, how to use them, how to use the, like in my field, swim models or the cat files, or how to use them. Let them know, and I think they can contribute a lot in your work, and you can get benefit of them if you properly mentor them. Yeah,
Yeah, to me, mentorship is one of those keys, like you just said, um, to really pass down the knowledge of all the things that, as you've grown as an engineer, you're able to pass that down
yeah,
to the next group, because we need to keep having great engineers, right? And
yeah.
this world can't live without engineers,
Without engineers.
and we need to have that mentorship aspect, where and it goes both ways, right? We need engineers that are willing to share their knowledge, their expertise,
Yeah,
but we also need mentees that want to receive that,
they want to
and
invest.
want to really grasp that knowledge, and grow, right? All of mentorship is growing, becoming better. And
Yeah,
so to me, you hit the nail on the head where you said mentorship is a key aspect. We have
yeah.
to keep doing that.
Yeah, yeah, mentorship is definitely because, as I said, most of the engineers who come from the university, they have the will to understand. They want
Yep.
to go ahead actually. If you mentor them properly or just guide them how to, what is the requirement of a civil engineering project? Suppose you should have expertise in, you should try to understand geotechnical reports. Suppose in my field, how to understand the survey topography, how to use the models, and they can understand it very quickly if you mentor them properly. So you get benefit of yourself. They
Yeah.
not only they get the benefit, but you and your company also get benefit, and you can
Good.
perform your work quickly. If you quickly and in an efficient way, if you mentor them properly actually.
So, speaking about mentorship and sharing lessons, what's a lesson or some lessons that you've learned from leading engineering teams that you wish you knew earlier in your career?
Like yeah, there are so many things you learn with the passage of time. Like if I think the thing which I have seen in lagging in my career in the beginning, relationship development with the client, like with the regulatory authorities, like the stakeholder development relationship. And that's most of the people, they, like your mentor mostly tell you about the technical things. Okay, they take this formula from there, you can use the Manning's formula, blah blah, anything. But usually very few people told you that how much important is the relationship development with the stakeholders. um, and the stakeholder is not only client, they may be regulatory authorities, they may be your colleagues actually, maybe other consultants. So I learned later in my stage, but I wish I have more better relationship, client, like stakeholder relationship development, and I emphasized to my juniors to learn it actually, like a start of their career instead
Yeah,
of learning it late, and it
later.
helps a lot actually. That's one of my experience that I wish I have more abilities. I learned it in a later stage with my expertise, but mentoring is not only technical things.
Yep.
It's just learning it how to behave with your team, how to make relationship with your team, how to make good relation. I have seen it. If you have a very good relation, you can get it instead of making a rough relation. If you have good relation with all your stakeholders, you can get your design or proposal approval more quickly, and everybody likes it, like having a good relation. And then even they have some objection on your proposal, if you have a nice way of communicating with the team, you can have I think you can get approved your project quickly actually, and that's what always I think that a good relationship with all the stakeholders is very important, and get help to your project to get it approved quickly.
Yep. Hader, what final piece of advice can you give to civil engineers who want to become effective leaders in the industry?
I think I touched a little bit. I would say work improve the technical knowledge as much as possible. Try to understand the bylaws, standards, regulations of wherever you're working, because every area has different bylaws. If you're working in the Middle East or in Canada or in the United States, like everywhere, you have different bylaws, and you should, I think, I would say, try to understand the bylaws, standards, regulations of that particular area. Like even for stormwater management in my field, we have different different coefficients for each area, like CS curves are different, IDF curves are different, how they develop IDF curves, so it's different. So I think I would say that try to understand the regional regulations, bylaws, and standards, and that helps a lot. Don't apply general things. Yeah, definitely, basic knowledge does help you, but try to wherever you go. Learn their standards also, bylaws, regulation, and it will help them a lot.
All right, now it's time for our CE Hot Seat segment of the week with Haider Ali. Haider, welcome to the CE Hot Seat. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, Haider. Do you have any specific rituals that you practice every day? For example, do you have a specific morning ritual or a lunchtime ritual, things that you do on a daily basis that contribute to being a successful professional?
Yeah, I think the two rituals, meditation and then the physical exercise. That's what I do. Like we have in our office a gym also, so I go to on my late time regularly, and at home also when I come back at night, I do some meditation also. So I think. And I have seen it. It helps a lot, physical and mental, for the betterment of your physical abilities and growth of your mental abilities. These things helps a lot, and I use it. Sometime I cannot, but I have seen it. It helps a lot if you do proper meditation and proper physical exercises in the gym. It improves your technical skills also.
What is one book that you recommend to engineers regularly, or just one book that you've found to be extremely helpful in your professional and
Uh,
or interpersonal development?
I mostly use my technical books. I have a handbook of civil engineers from Lady Mail that I used a lot for development of my stormwater management skills. So there are I read a lot of literature, but you're talking about something technical. So I think I use a lot. I learn lots of my stormwater management skills from it's a Larry Mills, I think the name of the writer is. So stormwater management manual actually. So that's my on my table,
Awesome.
and it does have like nowadays we can find it lots of things. on the computer, on the AI. But in earlier days, we don't we don't have so many
Right.
things. So usually we open the book and find something. If you have to design something, so that's the book I use it, yeah, mostly, yeah, for my stormwater management skills.
Thinking back on your managers of the past, picture your favorite manager or managers. What made them your favorite?
I think like my present manager is a very nice guy. So what I have seen his main ability is that he's very calm and cool person. Like and he doesn't take anything personal actually, even someone criticize, so I think that's one of the best example. If someone criticize your work, it doesn't mean that he is criticizing you actually. So don't take it, that's what I learned from him. Don't take anything personal. He take everything very calmly and cool, and I learned a lot from him, and I think that's one of the things which I would recommend. If someone criticize your work, don't take it personal,
Yeah.
and see that thing may be helpful for your project. It may be good for you for the delivery of your project and the overall progress of the project. Yeah.
I've got one final question, and that is the critical civil engineering career elevator advice question. And that is, if you got into an elevator with a civil engineering student and had about 30 to 40 seconds with them, what career advice would you share with them?
Um. As I said it earlier in my communication, the whole last 45-50 minutes, I would say quickly improve your technical knowledge, improve your relationship development with all the stakeholders, and at the last, try to understand, like, if you are working as a lead engineer or project manager, try to understand the emotional intelligence of your employees, and don't take criticism as a personal. So I think these 3-4 things I would say, and it helps you to become a good engineer.
I love it. Hader, thank you so much for joining me today. Where
Thank you
can
very
our
much.
listeners connect with you?
Yeah, anytime.
Where is there a specific spot where they could connect with you, like LinkedIn or email or follow
Uh,
you somewhere or just
Yeah, LinkedIn, check it regularly. So
okay,
LinkedIn was one of the best way to communicate. On my phone, LinkedIn is always there.
awesome.
I instead of Facebook or Twitter, I use LinkedIn actually.
Awesome. That's
That helps
great.
me a lot actually.
So if this podcast inspired you, connect with Hader on LinkedIn and Hader, thanks again so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. It's really I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the future. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Please remember you can find the show notes for this episode at civilengineeringpodcast.com. There you'll find the summary of the key points discussed in today's episode, as well as links to any of the resources, websites, or books mentioned during the episode. Until next time, I wish you the best in all your civil engineering endeavors.